Welcome to War Bios, the podcast where we delve into the lives of history's most fascinating military leaders. I'm your host, General Biography, and today we're going to explore the remarkable life of Arthur Wellesley, the Duke of Wellington. This iconic figure, known for his victory over Napoleon at Waterloo, was a master strategist, a brilliant tactician, and a complex character whose life was marked by both triumph and tragedy. Born on May 1, 1769 in Dublin, Ireland, Arthur Wellesley was the sixth of 9 children to Garret Wellesley, the Earl of Mornington, and his wife, Anne Hill. The family's Anglo-Irish aristocratic roots would shape young Arthur's early life and future ambitions. His childhood was spent at the family's estate, Dangan Castle, in County Meath, where he developed a passion for horses, outdoor activities, and music. In fact, Wellington's love for music would remain a lifelong companion, often finding solace in playing the violin during times of stress. The rolling hills and lush landscapes of Ireland would also instill in him a deep appreciation for the strategic importance of terrain, a lesson that would serve him well on future battlefields. As a member of the landed gentry, Arthur's family expected him to pursue a career in politics or the military. His older brother Richard was already making a name for himself in politics, and it seemed likely that Arthur would follow suit. However, Arthur's interest lay elsewhere. He attended Eton College, where he excelled in sports, particularly boxing and wrestling, but struggled academically. His time at Eton was marked by a sense of disconnection, feeling like an outsider among his peers. This sense of isolation would become a recurring theme throughout his life, as he often found himself at odds with those around him. In 1785, Arthur's family decided to send him to the Royal Military College at Woolwich, with the intention of securing him a commission in the British Army. This decision would prove pivotal in shaping Wellington's future. At Woolwich, he underwent rigorous training, learning the fundamentals of artillery, engineering, and military tactics. It was during this period that Arthur began to develop his strategic thinking, often spending hours poring over maps and studying the campaigns of great military leaders. He became particularly fascinated with the works of Julius Caesar, whose Commentarii de Bello Gallico would become a constant companion throughout his life. The late 18th century was a time of great upheaval in Europe, with the French Revolution sending shockwaves across the continent. As Arthur Wellesley navigated his early 20s, he found himself drawn into this maelstrom. In 1787, he joined the 7th Third Regiment of Foot as an ensign, marking the beginning of his distinguished military career. The following year, he sailed to India, where he would spend the next several years serving under various commanders, honing his skills and learning valuable lessons about leadership, logistics, and combat. The Indian subcontinent was a crucible for young Arthur, testing his mettle in the harsh environment of colonial warfare. He witnessed firsthand the complexities of cultural diplomacy, the challenges of maintaining supply lines, and the brutal realities of battle. These experiences would shape his worldview, influencing his approach to command and his understanding of the human cost of war. One notable example of Wellington's early leadership was during the Third Anglo-Mysore War, where he played a key role in the Battle of Seringapatam. Although still a junior officer, Arthur demonstrated exceptional bravery and tactical acumen, earning the respect of his superiors and the admiration of his peers. This experience would serve as a turning point in his career, marking the beginning of his rise through the ranks. The young Arthur Wellesley was a work in progress, still finding his footing in the world. Yet, as we examine his early life, we see glimpses of the character traits that would come to define him: his unwavering dedication to duty, his unshakable sense of discipline, and his unrelenting passion for excellence. The lessons he learned, the challenges he overcame, and the relationships he forged would all contribute to his development as a military leader. As Wellington's military career gained momentum, he found himself at the forefront of British operations in India, a land of scorching deserts, lush jungles, and ancient fortresses. In 1799, he played a crucial role in the Battle of Seringapatam, where he led a contingent of troops that successfully breached the walls of the fort, paving the way for the British victory. The air was thick with the smell of gunpowder and smoke as Wellington's men fought their way through the narrow streets, dodging cannonballs and musket fire. This triumph marked a significant turning point in Wellington's career, earning him recognition and accolades from his superiors, including the praise of Lord Harris, the British commander-in-chief in India. The Battle of Seringapatam was a masterclass in siege warfare, with Wellington's troops employing innovative tactics to outmaneuver the defenders. The British forces used a combination of artillery bombardments, infantry assaults, and clever deception to breach the fort's walls, demonstrating Wellington's growing expertise as a commander. As he walked through the breached walls, surveying the aftermath of the battle, Wellington couldn't help but feel a sense of pride and accomplishment. The victory had come at a great cost, with many lives lost on both sides, but it marked a significant milestone in his career. In 1800, Wellington returned to England, where he became embroiled in the complexities of military politics. He was elected as a Member of Parliament for the Rotten Borough of Trim in Ireland, a position that allowed him to maintain connections with influential figures while also furthering his own interests. During this period, Wellington's relationships with contemporaries such as William Pitt the Younger and Henry Addington would prove instrumental in shaping his future. These men were the architects of British foreign policy, and their support would be crucial in securing Wellington's future commands. Wellington's experiences in India had prepared him for the challenges of commanding large-scale military operations. In 1803, he was appointed as the commander-in-chief of the British forces in India, a position that granted him significant autonomy and authority. He leveraged this opportunity to implement reforms and modernize the British military presence in the region. His efforts paid off as he successfully quelled the Second Anglo-Maratha War, negotiating the Treaty of Surgianjangan in 1803. The treaty marked a significant shift in British policy towards India, recognizing the importance of local alliances and diplomacy in securing British interests. The years that followed were marked by intense military activity as Wellington navigated the complex web of alliances and rivalries that defined European politics. In 1808, he was dispatched to Portugal, where he played a pivotal role in the Peninsular War. He successfully led the British forces to victory at the Battle of Vimeiro, forcing the French to retreat from the Iberian Peninsula. This triumph marked the beginning of a long and arduous campaign, as Wellington worked tirelessly to drive the French out of Spain and Portugal. Throughout the Peninsular War, Wellington's relationships with his contemporaries were multifaceted and often complex. He developed a deep respect for the Spanish guerrilla fighters, who provided invaluable support to the British forces. Their bravery and cunning in the face of overwhelming odds inspired Wellington, and he worked closely with them to coordinate attacks against the French. His interactions with figures such as General Miguel de Olava and the Duke of Ciudad Rodrigo were instrumental in shaping the course of the war. As the years passed, Wellington's reputation as a brilliant and daring commander continued to grow. In 1812, he led the British forces to a decisive victory at the Battle of Salamanca, a triumph that earned him widespread acclaim. The battle was a masterpiece of tactical maneuvering, with Wellington's troops outflanking and overwhelming the French army. The following year, he was appointed as the commander-in-chief of the Allied forces in Spain, a position that granted him unparalleled authority and influence. Wellington's leadership during this period was characterized by his unwavering commitment to discipline and order. He once remarked, "The art of war is simple enough. Find out where your enemy is, get at him as soon as you can, strike him as hard as you can, and keep moving." This philosophy guided his actions throughout the Peninsular War. As he worked tirelessly to drive the French out of the Iberian Peninsula, his troops admired him for his bravery, strategic thinking, and unwavering dedication to duty. In 1814, Wellington's forces crossed into France, marking the beginning of the end of Napoleon's reign. The Battle of Toulouse, fought on April 10, 1814, was one of the final confrontations between the British and French forces. Although the battle was fiercely contested, Wellington emerged victorious, securing a crucial triumph that paved the way for the Allied invasion of France. As he rode through the streets of Toulouse, surrounded by his cheering troops, Wellington felt a sense of pride and satisfaction. The long and bloody war was finally coming to an end, and he had played a significant role in shaping its outcome. The years ahead would bring new challenges and opportunities as Wellington navigated the complexities of post-war Europe and cemented his position as one of the most revered military leaders of his time. His legacy would be defined by his unwavering commitment to duty, his strategic genius, and his unshakable resolve in the face of adversity. As he looked out upon the battle-scarred landscape of Europe, Wellington knew that his work was far from over. The continent was about to enter a new era of peace and reconstruction, and he would play a leading role in shaping its future. As the years went by, Wellington's influence extended far beyond the battlefield as he became a prominent figure in British politics, leaving an indelible mark on the nation's history. In 1819, he was appointed Commander-in-Chief of the British Army, a position he held until his death, overseeing the modernization and professionalization of the military. He also served as the Chancellor of the University of Oxford, where he promoted academic excellence and intellectual curiosity, and was a member of the House of Lords, where he brought his unique perspective on European politics to bear on the country's foreign policy. Wellington's experiences during the Napoleonic Wars had given him a profound understanding of the complexities of European politics, and he played a crucial role in shaping Britain's foreign policy. He was a key figure in the Congress of Vienna, where he worked tirelessly to establish a balance of power on the continent and prevent future conflicts. His commitment to diplomacy and statecraft was matched only by his dedication to the British people, whom he served with unwavering loyalty and distinction. In 1828, Wellington became the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, a position he held until 1830. Although his tenure was marked by controversy, including the Catholic emancipation debate, he remained committed to his principles and worked tirelessly to promote British interests. As he once said, "I have no small talk, and people will not leave me alone," reflecting his straightforward and uncompromising nature, which had served him so well on the battlefield. One of the most significant challenges Wellington faced during his time as Prime Minister was the Catholic emancipation debate. The issue had been simmering for years, with many Catholics demanding equal rights and representation in Parliament. Wellington, who had always been a strong supporter of Catholic emancipation, worked closely with the Catholic leadership to find a solution that would satisfy both sides. Despite fierce opposition from some quarters, he remained resolute, using his legendary persuasive powers to bring about a compromise that would eventually lead to the passage of the Catholic Relief Act in 1829. Wellington's later years were marked by a series of personal tragedies, including the loss of his wife Kitty in 1831. He never remarried and devoted himself to his work and his family, finding solace in the company of his loved ones and the demands of public service. Despite his advancing age, he remained active in politics and continued to serve as a member of the House of Lords until his death, always ready to offer his counsel and guidance to those who sought it. On September 14, 1852, the Duke of Wellington passed away at his estate in Walmer, Kent, surrounded by his family. His funeral was a grand affair, with thousands of mourners gathering to pay their respects to the man who had played such a significant role in shaping British history. The procession wound its way through the streets of London, past the iconic landmarks and historic buildings that Wellington had known so well during his lifetime, as he was laid to rest in St. Paul's Cathedral. The nation came together to honor his memory and celebrate his legacy, remembering the man who had given his life to the service of his country. His legacy extends far beyond the battlefield, however, as he played a significant role in shaping European politics and promoting British interests. In many ways, Wellington's life was a microcosm of the tumultuous times in which he lived. He navigated the treacherous waters of European politics with ease, always keeping his eyes fixed on the horizon and his heart committed to the cause of peace and stability. He was a man of strong convictions and unwavering principles who never wavered in his commitment to duty and honor. That's all for today's War Bios. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, I'm General Biography reminding you to keep marching toward victory.